Today is June 11th, and the boys from the Backpocket are back. Decky Brown, how we doing?
We're doing great. Andy Automatic picking me up from the airport. We're here in South Carolina, Hilton Head, South Carolina. You picked me up in Savannah, Georgia. Now we're in South Carolina. Absolute blast. It's a little road game for the boys from the Backpocket.
We're on the road. We're celebrating the 4 years that we just enjoyed with 3 other guys. It's been a hell of a ride, and my grandparents have now welcomed us into their home in South Carolina, and we're just enjoying you're here for 3 days. Other boys were here for 5.
Yeah, 5.
So so far it's been an all around blast.
Yeah, we first off have to say thank you, Bill Goodhue, BB, the grandfather of Silicon Valley. Look him up if you don't know who he is. He's a great dude. Roll Tech. He's a Georgia Tech guy. But let's get after this podcast. We got a sweet podcast today. Guest this week is Jonny Stofko. We'll get to that in a little bit. But we have to get after it right now as far as
Our
average quality.
Yeah, so this week, our average quality is kind of the theme of what we're going through right now. It's trying to figure it out, adjust and go on the road.
Like you said, FOAG is figure out, adjust, and go. And we are away from home. We're away from the washing den this week. So Andrew and I have to create and find our own podcast studio this week. The lovely setting for this week's podcast 53 is Andrew's closet.
Yeah, so this closet is my grandparents' closet, and we tested every closet that we had because every room has a closet, right? Mm-hmm. So we sat in every single one. We tested every single chair in the house, make sure that the squeak was minimal or non-existent. And we came up with this table right here, which is
this little concoction. I don't know.
Closed drying rack. We couldn't really fit a real table in here, so this one kind of extends out. It's nice and it's plain and simple.
Yeah,
it gets the job done.
Yeah, don't even, dude. And that's a great transition, actually. Our saying of the month this week, marketing interns, is "don't even," and I don't even know where you'd fit that into your routine, but you should.
Yeah, just if you want to fit it in, or if you don't even.
Yeah, don't even go for it.
But figuring out on the road that this is going to be a fun podcast because on the back end we got a little surprise for our marketing interns.
Yep, we're going back to situational podcasting. Our early on marketing interns know exactly what this is. Situational podcasting is where Andrew and I go somewhere specific and record. So when we were in Aruba, we did a situational podcast at 10,000 feet over the Bermuda Triangle. The audio quality there, not as good, but
it wasn't great.
Yeah, who can say they did a podcast at 10,000 feet over the Bermuda Triangle? Probably not a lot of other podcasts. That's why we're the best. That's why we're top 10 on iTunes.
And that's why we're average, because we're picking spots that, are not always for best quality, but it's for the experience.
Yeah,
it's for the content.
Exactly. We're throwing all our ideas at the wall, and hopefully one sticks.
Another FOAG moment for us is the time of the setting that we're shooting this podcast.
Good
because when you're on vacation, you want to minimize your business talk in front of everyone else. You want to make sure that you're not always talking podcast talk, bothering everyone because it's vacation. We're trying to experience the joy of the sun.
We're trying to live in the present moment, and that present moment's usually outside and not in a closet talking about podcasts and what you want to do. Rather than when you're on vacation, you probably just should go ahead and do the things you want to do.
Yep. So we're in the closet in my room, and Steve is currently sleeping, our first-string producer, who's been nowhere to be found. Like, he should be up right now in this closet with us, checking the audio, but he's sleeping.
Yeah. We're not going to hold it against him.
Right.
I mean, how many episodes has it been now? We should do a running tally of how many episodes we haven't had a producer for. Mm-hmm. And maybe we get a new producer. Maybe we have a vlogger who's following us around Hilton Head. Something like that. Capturing this beautiful background of Andrew's closet. All these nice clothes, all these nice folded clothes, hangers, picture frames. This is great. We absolutely love it in here. Let's get after our segment.
I have one more FOAG moment.
Oh. Give me one more idea.
The other FOAG moment is just finding other times to talk about the podcast
Ooh.
when we're not recording. So we took full advantage of that when I picked you up from the airport, and it's an hour drive back. And I think we had probably our healthiest conversation yet on the future and the current moment of the podcast and how we can extend what we're doing and make it into find a goal and try to attack it and be niche down like Jack Doomer has suggested for us.
Absolutely. I think what's really important, especially for any kind of company or business, is to always have goals in mind. always have landmarks that you want to hit to track your progress. So Andrew and I, we had that hour to basically hash out, what those short-term goals are, what those long-term goals are, where we want to see ourselves in a year. Because we didn't really set a goal when we first started this podcast, because we honestly didn't know what we were doing yet. But now it took about a year and 5 months later, however long it's been, we've been able to, find our why, find exactly what this podcast stands for, find exactly who the Backpocket is, what we represent. And now that we have that image, now taking that next step, now setting those goals is going to help us, track our progress, see the results,
Absolutely. And going off of that right away, what else are we tracking? What else are we continuing? What else are we focusing on? Our segments. We're trying to niche down, figure out what hits, what sticks.